You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We got a special guest in the building.
Yes, sir.
Mr. David Banner.
What's happening with you, brother?
What's up, sir?
I love when David Banner comes by because he comes by ready to teach. His brother pulled out his notebook. He pulled out, what's that, James Baldwin?
Yeah.
The Fire Next Time? Yeah. Yes, sir.
And happy belated birthday, by the way.
Oh, thank you, love.
Happy
I appreciate it,
birthday,
man. I'm recovering. I slowed down a lot, but I made up on that one day. I actually fell asleep at 8 o'clock. Slept through the whole night. I missed the whole festivities and everything.
Now, the old David Banner would come to the club.
Yeah.
Any club I would DJ.
Yeah.
He'd buy a bottle of Hennessy.
Yep.
And would finish that. It wouldn't be sharing. He wouldn't be pouring nobody. He would finish that Hennessy by himself.
Yep.
And would be drunk every night.
So I got a quick story I want to tell the DJs now that I'm a little bit older. I used to that's how I got close to all the DJs. I used to out drink them in every city. Like I'm not gonna call his name, but a DJ in Dallas, I drunk him and under the table. They had to take him and dump him on his front porch.
Damn, baby.
But my body but my body started rejecting alcohol. I was drinking so much Hennessy that my liver started rejecting the alcohol. So what I did was I started letting people see me drink cranberry and vodka. So what I started doing the next time, I would tip the waitress $100 and say, give me just cranberry, double up on the DJs and get them an extra shot.
There you go.
And so I started drinking just cranberry juice and going around the country hammering DJs, and they were like, David Banner is a beast. No. I had stopped drinking literally about a year ago, brother.
So what happens when your body rejects it? Like, how do you know? What is...
Like every time I would have any alcohol, I would throw it straight back up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, and the thing was, and I'll tell you this, when I knew it was bad, I went to the dentist one day, and the dentist asked me, do you smoke cigarettes? I was like, no, I don't smoke cigarettes. Like, coffee? I was like, no. Bro, I was drinking so much Hennessy that the dye from the Hennessy had turned the back of my mouth brown, and I brushed my teeth every day. That's how much Hennessy I was drinking, bro.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, it's a blessing for me to be able to still tell these stories, and if I have to drink somebody under the table every now and then just to show them that.
I still got it in me.
That's that Mississippi in you.
Yeah, man.
Now, talking to DJs, you haven't put out music in 5 years, an album, right?
Yeah.
Well, why is that?
I had to find a way to, because one thing I tell people a lot of times is that, a lot of times people say that consciousness doesn't sell. A lot of times it be whack. You know what I'm saying? People use being a Christian rapper or being a conscious rapper or being whatever kind of rapper as an excuse not to have jamming music.
Right.
I had to find a way to make great music, because I tell people the first responsibility that you have as an artist is to make jamming music. Even with so-called lyrical rappers, what happens a lot of times is a lot of lyrical rappers feel like they're better than the beat. So they'll get a whack beat so they can smash the record and they can get the shine instead of making a awesome song.
Right.
So it took me a while to learn how to make dope music without compromising where I was spiritually. And it just took time for me to do it. The thing that I'm thankful for, and I was going to tell y'all this, man, I think I am probably the most fortunate person on this earth, bro. Like, I was walking yesterday from the mall, and people was just like, Banner, we proud of you. Like, all out their cars. White folks, too, like, hey, Black Power. Like, you a white dude. And they was like, David Banner, we're proud of you. I was on a plane coming here this morning, and the lady on the plane pulled me to the side. She was like, I'd just like to thank you for everything that you do, and, like, keep working. Apple called me and was like, my pre-orders are off the chain with no single or nothing. And they were telling me that my comment thread under the God box had turned into just like social commentary, where people were going back and forth about politics. But this is on a thread about an album that you haven't even heard before. So for me to be able to get paid as much money as I get paid, and I am so very fortunate. I just spoke in front of 200,000 people about two months ago. Every time I speak, just about the God Box Lecture Series is sold out.
Where was that at?
That was in Austin. I was in Austin. And to get paid to do something that's right, like I never had that feeling before in my life. Like, if you do music to a certain degree, you are sacrificing something somewhere. You know, that's why I understood Dave Chappelle and I wanted to get around Dave Chappelle. I understand why he went to Africa. At the time, I couldn't afford to go to Africa, so I just went to Charleston.
843 was
you know what I'm
happening.
saying? So, brother, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful.
Now, you have spent the last 5 years doing a lot of public speaking, working as an activist. Why did you choose to do that more than just entertain?
I went through a severe depression. And all my homies from the hood was like, bro, what's wrong with you? You got Bentleys and 2-3 houses. And the funniest thing, man, I had a model. I can't name her, I won't name her name, but she had a manager to call my manager to book me. And she didn't do music. So, you know, I guess there's a difference between doing beats and beats. If you know what I mean. But it was crazy because I couldn't sleep at night. And when I started doing what my spirit told me to do, my life changed. And I started being able to sleep at night. I literally, and I'm not just saying this, man, I really believe if I would have kept going down the path I was going down, I would have died.
Because you compromised yourself.
I would have died. I had a doctor. She said, I am not a holistic doctor. She said, your cholesterol is a little high. She said, but I'm looking in your eyes and your spirit is gone. She said, if you don't find your spirit, your body is going to follow. And I promise you, bro, like, as soon as I started taking care of that, because money, you know, because a lot of rappers and a lot of entertainers won't tell you the truth. And Dave Chappelle said that too. Like, you see all of these people, you know, running down Broadway naked in L.A., taking off all their clothes, streaking and all this kind of stuff. You say, man, I know these not weak people. It's something about our people in entertainment that ain't right. Like they freaking out.
You think it's because some people know that they're compromising themselves, like doing things that you know you wouldn't necessarily do, but you're getting a check for it?
I'm gonna tell you what I believe, and especially about hip hop. And this is one of the things that I wanted to say. I believe hip hop has given in to white supremacy. You know, if you look at our music and you listen to our radio stations, black people radio stations for the most part is one of the only groups of people who emasculate themselves. And I never noticed that. I never noticed, like, my hit record was Like a Pimp.
Yeah.
You can't name too many people, even the most positive people. Even think about R&B. As much as people talk about rap, you have married women who are happily married depressing other women. Talking about men ain't nothing, talking about, you know, men are dogs, but you're married and you're happy. So it's the same way that we tell these kids to stay in the hood, and you don't live in the hood, you're lying. So it's like the emasculation of our people, we have sold into it. And because in rap now, there's no longer any etiquette. If it's successful, then we'll go along with it. One thing that hip hop used to have, whether it was right or wrong, we had rules. We don't mess with police, and there are certain other things, snitches, or whatever it may end up being. We had rules, but now it don't matter what you do. If you successful, it don't matter what you do, bro.
And people won't speak out against it because they'll be like, "Oh, you just hating."
Yeah.
You just hating because he popping.
Yeah, and even our elders, we don't hold anybody accountable. And one thing I told these people, I hear everybody always talking about mumble rap and what these kids are doing, but then I shocked some people when I said this. Bro, it comes from our elders. Run DMC, all the people that we talk about during the golden age of rap, they did everything they could to cross over. They did rock records. They did everything with every pop, MC, and any white person, anybody that they could in order to get over the white people. And our kids looked at that and was like, that's success? So instead of doing one song, we're going to do it all day because we want to get to the money.
But I think also back then, I think it was we didn't necessarily have the outlet. You know, I think Run DMC wanted to see their video on TV, and at the time there was no BET.
And that's the only way to get on MTV is to do a song with Aerosmith.
And it worked. I think during that time, that's what that was.
But we can make excuses for whatever, but it was still the same outcome. These kids want to get to that bag.
Right. But you know what? I will say this. Like, we just had Little Yachty up here, and he talked about wanting to see more people of color in his audience and for them to enjoy his music more. And I remember when I worked for Wu-Tang, at a certain point, their audience turned into, like, all white audiences, and they felt a way about that, too. They wanted to have black people come to their shows.
Angela, I never forget, this is one of the crowning moments in my life when Like a Pimp had blew all the way up. I was actually coming up here to do a photo shoot, and it's this guy who had on a hat and was tying his bow tie. He's like, "You doing it, huh, Mr. Banner?" And I turned around, it was my favorite rapper. It was Andre 3000. He sat down and told me when Outkast had gotten too big to do black venues. And like literally because they had such a big staff and they had to pay people, literally they couldn't fit in their writers, all of their financial responsibility. They literally couldn't do black clubs anymore. And I could tell the hurt in his eyes. The truth is this, and I wish that I could talk to people. We try to go pop when in actuality, black people define everything on this earth anyway.
Absolutely.
All you have to do, and think about this, and me and you talked about this before, what's the difference between A-list artists and B-list artists as it pertains to lights, flashing lights? When a B-list artist sees lights, what do?
Pose. No, I don't
Right.
They run towards the camera.
What does an A-list artist do?
Ducks them.
They run away from it. You want to know why? Because they know that they're the light. If you do great things as descendants of an African, everybody will come to you. Lil Wayne was a perfect example of that. When his career made a dip, he stayed in the booth. He didn't run out to clubs and, hey, listen to me. No, he stayed in that booth and did the best. He did 80 features straight, and every one of them was fire. And he brought the whole world to him. So for me, everybody wants to cross over because they think that that's where the money is, but we spend over $1 trillion a year. If we can make black people love themselves, you wouldn't have to be global.
I think that sounds great, but I think a problem with our community a lot of times is we don't support each other.
Well,
like you go to these shows like she mentioned, and I go to a lot of concerts.
Right.
Like I went to Big Sean the other day, and we don't see a lot of ourselves there.
Well,
we don't support each other when it comes to that.
Well, we're saying the same thing. I'm saying exactly the same thing that you're saying. The problem is that most black people don't like to be black. You know, we say that R&B isn't selling, right? We say rap isn't selling. Justin Timberlake, Sam Smith, Adele don't have a problem selling black music. Macklemore doesn't have a problem with selling rap.
Well, he does now, but
But literally. But what I'm saying is it's that even the way that we wear our hair and the things that we invest our money in, 9 times out of 10, Louis Vuitton won't put a black man on a billboard unless he has a dress on. You feel what I'm saying? But we would give all of our money. I mean, and put our kids in detriment to be something else. The first thing, and that's what the God Box is about. We got to make black people love themselves again.
Yes, sir.
That's all. That's the reason. It's psychology. It's not business. Because people say, well, you got to give black people the keys to business. David Banner, you a multimillionaire without music. How can you teach black? Well, the truth is, I can teach you how to do it. But if you don't like black people subliminally, if we do a black movie and you know black people do movies, even example, think about it. The A-list white artists, actors, you can't pay them to be in a black movie. Do you see them in black productions? No, you don't see them in black productions.
You can give them $40 million, they want to do a Tyler Perry movie.
Right, because they want to keep their fame and their money in their community. And the amazing thing that I learned, bro, is it's supposed to be that way. People tell me, David Banner, you don't talk about racism anymore. You only talk about white supremacy. I don't see a problem in racism anymore. Watch this. Race is the root word. Root is the root word. Ism and ist is the act of the word, right? So white people are supposed to take care of white people first. They're supposed to give themselves the Grammys first, the movies first, because don't lions take care of lions? Tigers take care of tigers? It's not white people's racism that's the problem. It's black people's lack of racism. We're supposed to be racist too, and we're not.
There's so much negative connotation with the word racist. That's why.
Yeah, well, to me, that only matters because we care about what white people think about us. If we didn't care what people thought about us in the first place, it really wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, I can wear my hair. I can say whatever I want to. The only reason why I censor myself in here is because of my respect and the relationships that I have for y'all.
We don't want you to censor
but
yourself.
watch what I'm about to say, though. But watch what I'm about to say. I can literally stand up right now and say, everybody can suck a dick, right? And the reason why I can do that is because our radio stations don't really play us no more anyway. So the power that they had, Dave Banner, I'm going to pull your record off. Well, nah, I don't have one. You're not playing it anyway. So, like, in actuality, we've actually even taken the power that we had away in our communities by trying to take people's livelihood. People have a vested interest. They want the lives of artists no more. Your music is not good enough, black person. Your acting is not good enough. I want your whole entire life. I want your family. I want your kids. I want to know where you shop, what time you shop, whatever you do.
You sound like Get Out.
It does.
That's what Get Out is about. Get Out is about white people trying to take the consciousness of black people, take that spirit. To me, that's what I call black privilege, but taking that from us.
Yeah. But we give it away now. That's the one thing I tell people I wish rappers would do. Okay, I don't even mind. If you want to be a sellout, be a sellout. But really get paid for it. They got us vested in fame. We give away culture. We give away everything. Think about this. I talked about this and people were amazed. When I lived in LA, the one thing I respected was the culture of Mexican people. You cannot go into LA and make a film about Mexican people without having somebody in their community be a part of it. They will kill you. But they make movies about black folks, our culture, and without no say-so. Or they'll go pay one famous black person. And okay, well, we got this person, so okay, I got David Banner. I paid David Banner, so I can do whatever I want to about Mississippi. Oh no, you can't.
Or they might make a movie about black people, but not put black people in it.
In
like
it,
God
right.
to Egypt.
Yeah. And laugh in your face about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, laugh in your face about it.
Now explain to people, what is the God Box? I know it's an album, but what does the God Box mean?
I can't tell you exactly what the God Box is. It's sort of like The Secret. It's something that people have to learn on their own. A mentor of mine said that if black people had to pay for school, literally had to pay for every level of school, then kids wouldn't miss a day of it. Anything that you get for free, you don't have true respect for. And the things that are most valuable are the things that are free. So in saying that, when I found out where God was and who was the God Box, my whole entire life changed. Me and you talked about this. For the most part, I make a lot of money lecturing. I never I'm at Harvard tomorrow.
I was there yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't actually. What? Stun on them, then, damn it! But I was actually there before you. I was there yesterday. That's not such a big deal. But I don't ask these people anything. I used to run for success. I used to want it so bad, but as soon as it didn't matter to me anymore, it comes to me. My staff trips out. I turn down more money than what I take, because I know where the light is. I know where God is.
I remember before you saying you felt like at times you had to kind of dumb things down in order to get that commercial and that radio play.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying I remember we had a conversation about that, and you felt like, well, I've done all these other songs, but then they gravitate more toward, a song like.
Well, when I started really studying back then, I was just talking. I study now. What happens is this: we have to understand that our people haven't been out of slavery longer than they were in it, and from a psychological standpoint, we don't get the proper information. Our schools are not equipped with especially the history to make our children love themselves. So if you look at the education level, or even where America in general, most Americans read at right around the third grade level, right? So you wonder why a lot of so-called dumbed down music appeals to more people. Well, I'm a semester and a thesis away from my master's degree, but I did go to third grade. So even I can relate to third grade music because I was in the third grade. But if I do 12th grade music, the people who only went to the third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, seventh, they can't relate to that because they don't understand it. But Angela, what I found out is, guess what? There is no excuse, because I am the God Box. If my people don't understand, guess what I got to do?
Make them understand.
Go teach them. The God Box lecture series. So I know I had to go, and if you look at it, and you and I talked about this, I don't go to the big cities where everybody, I did the opposite of what rappers do. I went to the towns where our parents started. I went to Birmingham. We go to Charleston, all of these places where people don't go, where people are scared to go. The stuff that I used to talk about on my first album, I had to go back and remember that. So I'm going to these small towns, and they think that the children are not interested. Brother Caleb, everywhere we go, there are people from 3 to 80 And I'm talking about packed. You done seen it before.
Absolutely.
You know, no seats in the house because I am giving them the opportunity to make a choice. So now when I rap about it, oh, that's what David Banner was talking. Oh, I get it now. You know, I have a song that's called Elvis. And it talks about him say he a god, Molly out here twerking. I walked in Def Jam with no black folks working. Soul is Robin Thicke, Adele's that too. Justin Timberlake is what Usher's supposed to do. And that's Elvis. Elvis is just like Elvis. We don't buy no music and everybody is selfish. They took our music now, our culture. I'm asking God to help us. So when I broke that down in my lecture about how black people have existed over 100,000 years before the first white gene, and when I teach these kids that the richest man that ever walked this earth was not Bill Gates, it was Mansa Musa. You feel what I'm saying? Kids like, oh, so I can be like, oh, black people created math and science, so math ain't hard, science ain't hard. Now, at least they've been, they had an opportunity to touch it through my lectures. So now when I asked them to buy the album, that's the reason why the pre-orders are so high.
And that's interesting because we did have, when we had Stacey Tisdale up here, she talks about financial empowerment. And she talks about how black people look at themselves in our history of money because we're not taught about, you know, Black Wall Street, which they are doing a movie about now.
Right.
And all the power that we do have with our finances.
And I hope it's black folks in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Don Cheadle's doing it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that the movie that Don Cheadle's doing?
No. Don Cheadle's doing a movie about being the first black man on Wall Street.
Oh.
Not Black Wall Street.
Okay, wait. No, let me look it up. Let me make sure I don't have any misinformation here.
But you know what bothers me?
oh.
I'll let you finish. You go ahead.
No, I was going to say, but it is true that sometimes people think like you tell them, okay, this is some things that you have to do to make money, and people feel like I can't do that.
Yeah, and that's
you're
the
taught
reason.
that.
That's the reason why it's important for me to be successful. Like, as much as we criticize these children, you can see what dope does on the block.
Right.
Now, whether it's positive or negative,
Like a crackhead to you? You
you know what it does. But like, think about the people who most of us look up to. They broke.
But I was just gonna say that, you know, the problem is having mentors and having people that we can look up to. You know, I looked up to my dad as a child, but you know what intrigued me?
What's
The
that?
drug dealers.
Right.
And not because they sold drugs, it's because what they had, what they symbolized. They looked like they had money. It looked like they had cars and clothes and women. And I idolized that and realized when I got into a place where I could make money, I realized that was wrong. So now what I try to do is I try to teach these kids and show these kids that I don't sell drugs. I bust my ass. I put my work schedule on my Instagram and tell you what I do so you can see how hard I work to obtain what I get.
But it makes kids,
that.
and you're right, but it makes kids want to get into entertainment and athletics. Like, because that's the people that they see being successful.
But that's not all bad because it's more than just entertainment and athletics, but we need more doctors because when I started,
Absolutely.
everybody was into rapping and playing basketball. I started DJing. I made it DJing. So now everybody wants to be a DJ, but I like to see kids do things that, because when I went to school, there was no music programs. There was no learn how to do radio in school. That wasn't an option. You did communications, but it was more writing. But now I'm seeing that these schools are starting to have programs for different things like on air, different things like A&R and record label type of things. And I'm just happy that we can teach these kids other than your typical drug dealers teaching them, you know?
And we have to teach them that because there's so many opportunities. Like, Atlanta is booming as far as the movies are concerned. But New York had the same problem and they didn't know it. There are groups of people who know what being a grip is. Right. There's groups of people, like I have a homegirl that works on movie sets and does hair. She only works 3 months out of the year and the rest of the time she travels. She hasn't walked into a beauty salon in years.
Right.
But the thing is, a lot of kids don't know the opportunities. They don't understand that a cameraman, if I had a cameraman one time, he said, David Banner, I've existed for 3 generations of actors. And I may not be able to make as much money as they make in one sitting, but most of these actors done fell off now. I done seen 3 generations. So as a whole and as a collective, I've made money. But he just made me think about something that I definitely want to talk about before I leave. And then we got to talk about the God box because I always get emotional and talk politics and don't say or nothing. When we did we were in Austin. Man, we had one of the greatest experiences I ever had because they brought us down to talk about black excellence. And you had all of these people wanting to talk about black excellence, and me and Charlamagne got up there and told them, I don't see any black excellence. And everybody said, What do you mean? I said, how dare you have all of these athletes who are excelling and the historically black colleges are dying?
Yeah.
These white people wouldn't have let you in school 40, 50 years ago. And now, think about this. If one generation of black kids got together and said, we all gonna go to HBCUs, do you know what that would do to the historically black colleges?
Business booming.
They told me in Florida, they used to have secret football games where the historical black colleges would beat these Ivy League white colleges by 60, 70 points. And literally they said, we got to get these black boys over here to play for us. So we won't play for ourselves. We have all of these so-called black leaders and black people excelling in college, but none of them are excelling in African studies, nor do they have, because I even told HBCU that I'm from, how dare you be at HBCU and I learned more at LSU about being African than I did here. All we are doing is teaching these people how to be upwardly mobile in white supremacy and not build their own businesses. So if a person, because most of the people, especially up north, or in the north, they send their kids to black colleges to learn how to be black, when in actuality they don't. So if we see all of these black people who are mobile, but all they really doing is navigating themselves well through white supremacy and not really helping their culture.
Well,
Do you think we do
HBCUs,
ourselves?
they teach you how to work and how to live in the white corporate world.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. Do you think
That's
we
what
do
they
ourselves a
teach you.
disservice because they teach us how to be American as opposed to just being black? They don't teach you about your culture. They teach you to go out there and be America so you can assimilate in America.
They teach you how to eat at the table.
So watch this.
They
Watch
teach you what
this.
suit to wear.
Watch this. I told a guy one time, he said, David Banner, do you know how to play chess? I said, no. He said, man, you have to learn chess. I said, well, what if the game is making both of y'all sit down thinking that you have a choice? What if I own the chessboard? I don't have to learn how to play chess. I got you guys sitting here thinking that you're against each other, sitting down playing at my board while I'm somewhere doing the real work. The truth is, you don't see white people, just like white actors, you don't see them taking their biggest and brightest, sending them to black corporations. They don't do that. The problem is we don't want to give up our toys. Black people are going to have to suffer for 5 to 10 years and get themselves back together. Any other culture or people come over here and live 10 in a house. One of them gets out, okay, then you bring 5 over, we're going to bring some more over here. We don't want to we don't want to get that Bentley up.
Now, what do you mean when you say suffer? Because a lot of people will be like, black people have suffered for hundreds of years already.
We suffer because of circumstance, not suffering to move forward. Not suffering, like the things that I talk about. Bro, to be honest with you, man, I make more money from Disney, Pepsi, all of these different places. You think them folks happy about what I talk about? They're not. But I know if I can be one of the ones who, because think about this, bro, especially with technology. If we give up on these children, bro, our grandmothers most of our grandmothers are dead now. Most of our grandfathers are dead. So where are they going to get this information? Once they put these children in the box, once all the information is on the internet, dude, then they control our kids' minds.
But it's happening now.
But the internet is hurting, to my opinion. Like, I listened to Joey Badass interview the other day, and he was saying that young people need an opportunity. We got to give them a shot. We got to give them a chance. And I agree to a certain extent, but I also agree that you got to go out and go get it. Like, nothing was given to me. I wasn't like Donald Trump. I didn't get $1 million check. I busted my ass, and I'm proud of that. I worked for everything I got. Nothing is given, and I think a lot of times with this internet, and a lot of times with things that you say, a lot of people thinks, oh well, I'm gonna stand next to David Banner because he's gonna give me a bone. Not I'm gonna do this because I deserve a bone.
Not my folks. My folks know how we get it. But I'll say this. It inherently is supposed to be easier for our children. The problem is that we don't set the proper foundation. If you look at most white folks' business, it's Giordano's and son. So what will happen is he will take his son to this level, but make him grind for it because we have to lay the foundation. Absolutely. We have to show them failure. So I tell people all the time, they say, David Banner, why do you run 14 miles? Why do you bike 20 miles? Why do you, for my birthday, they're like, what did you do for your birthday? My birthday morning, I climbed to the top of a mountain. People say, why do you do that? I say, I put artificial mountains in my way so when real mountains come, I don't freak out. So we do have to let our kids understand suffering, but not put them in there. Because what happens is white people will take their kids there, and then their kids will be able to make new mistakes. What happens is we tell our kids, oh, you're going to have to grind like I grind. And so they never really, because it takes a certain amount, every business, it takes, in most cases, 10 years for you to really understand it. You may boom, make a lot of money, but to be able to sustain a business, it usually takes 10 years. That's for anybody. So it's going to take the same amount of time that it took you if your kid is going through the same exact grind. So if we take our kids and we start them from here, instead of making them start right back here, so by the time they're your age, they're going to be exactly where you are, maybe a little bit higher or a little bit lower. But if we're able to take our kids and start them here, then when they die, they can leave here, start their kids here, and we move forward. And then, our people are going through a cyclical cycle.
And then I also feel like sometimes kids aren't exposed to things, so they don't even know the opportunities that are available. Like sometimes you look at a story like, did you watch the Khalif Browder story on Spike TV?
No, I wasn't able to watch.
All right, but you look at a situation like that and his circumstances growing up and being adopted and being in the system at such an early age and kind of being set up for failure is a lot harder for somebody like that. Or a lot of people, like I know people who have never left the neighborhood they grew up in, never been on a plane, never left a certain area. They don't even know. Sometimes you have to expose people. And if there's no way to get exposed, like I was fortunate with my parents, like they had me in all kinds of educational programs when I was younger, and I was able to travel and do different things. But some kids don't even have that. So they don't even know what's, you know.
And what scares me about that is, like I told you before, I believe that hip hop in black society as a whole has a vested interest in white supremacy now and don't know it, because I'll give you an example. Those of us who are able to show the kids something new, we make the same type of movies. We make the same exact type of movies that white folks make about us. So we're so scared to move or rap about something different or talk about something different. I told the distributors when I turned this album in, I made an interest to make a smart album. Well, if people invest in it or not, they can't say that it's not good music out here. I made one of the best albums, and I put it against anything. But the thing is, if we don't try to show kids something new, because there's a vested interest. There's two type of people that white supremacy pays. Absolute cornball sellout that don't have any type of culture, no beard, nothing about you that shows them that they're descendants of African, or stark raving niggas. The closer you are to a stark raving nigger, no, excuse me, not a nigger. I don't even say nigger no more. If you a nigger, you a nigger. Ain't no nigga, ain't no niggas, none of that shit. You either a nigger or you a sellout. And those are the type of people who are usually upwardly mobile. And the sad thing about the people in the middle who are really trying to do things, think about this. Black people are one of the few groups of people who fight for you the most. You have to convince black people that you're really trying to do something good.
But that's because we traumatized because we've seen so many sellouts.
Right, right. And
we're quick to say
I get that.
We're quick to say sell out.
But we're quick to say that. Yeah. But we're quick to embrace something that we know is wrong with us. Like people selling dope. Okay, you hustle. I don't judge that. You hustle. But the problem that I have is not so much that you're selling dope, but the fact that you're making these children think it's an option and it's a good thing to do. I know back when we were young, the dope dealers knew they were wrong.
Absolutely.
And they didn't act like they were wrong.
And they would tell the kids,
right,
man, go into school, take this money and go get some shoes or something.
I did not start hustling until I was in college. Because the dudes in my hood would always say, hey, that's the music dude. Hey, nah, bro, no, put that down. We would break your fucking legs if we see you with some dope. They had rules. You couldn't sell dope to pregnant women. You couldn't sell dope to children, or you would die. Right. Now we're at a point in music and on the streets where there are no rules. None. So these kids now think it's literally like they look at their life. Okay, I want to sell dope, or I want to be a lawyer, or like that. Like it's a real career option.
But people look at it as an option. Right. And it bothers the shit out of me.
And the thing is, that's the reason why you have so many snitches. Because most of these cats ain't built for that no way. But I do want to say this, and then I'll let you say what you're going to say. One thing that I do want to pass on to people is that one thing that has happened in my life that I know is real is that when you change the way that you think and you change your environment, everything that you want comes to you. People laugh at me because I was so violent. But now in my personal life, unless it's old music like Pac or something like that, I don't listen to violence. I don't watch violence. I look at money. I look at success. I don't look at movies about artists because it's always depressing. I don't want to see the James Brown story. I don't want to see another slave movie, even though I was in The Butler, made a lot of money. But I don't want to see that no more because a lot of times, yeah, they're giving us our history. Yeah, we need it, but when do we get to see, like, I don't want to be Black Panther. I want to be Superman.
I want to see Nat Turner.
Right. I want to see Nat Turner.
I want to see Nat Turner.
Right. And I want to see something that doesn't exist. I'm on a show on Bounce TV that's called Saints and Sinners. And one thing that I like about Saints and Sinners is they allowed me to make the preacher who I wanted him to be. So I've never seen a preacher like that. But if I locked my hair up on purpose because I've never seen a Christian preacher with locks before. So maybe if they see me on TV, well, maybe I can be myself. Or maybe I can be because I seen it. But in most cases, you can have music. I tell people one of the reasons why the West Coast popped so hard, because at the same time the music was popping, what else was popping?
The movies.
Colors.
Yep. Menace to Society. Boys in the Hood.
Right. So we didn't know what six folds were. We didn't really think that gang violence was that bad. Then we saw Colors. We was like, damn. Like, think about the South. We never really had that.
Still haven't.
We never really had a run where people could really understand what we were talking about. You know, New York life, that had always, even before rap, that had always people understood what that was. I was telling people when what was the guy that used to be with Mobb Deep all the time? Rappin' Noy. I remember listening to Rappin' Noy, and he said, you know, I jumped up in the bubble. Most people didn't know what he was talking about, but I used to see on TV, this was before all us had cell phones, you know, the outside phones used to have a bubble. You could jump up in the, you know, and be on the phone. So I understood, the pay phones. I understood what they were talking about. The biggest problem with these children is they don't have vision. And they made the negative vision be glorified. So that's all they have.
Now, you said Trump's election was the best thing that ever happened to America. Why is that?
One of the best things that ever happened to America. This is one of the things that I believe. I think one of the reasons why it's so hard on Black people in America is because we were God chosen people, and we're spoiled children. Think about Africans. Food was on the ground or in a tree. All you had to do was go get it. You could have sex all year. You wasn't in no rush. That's why when you go to the islands, what do they say? No worries. Think about white people. They were in the cold. You only had 3 months to grow food or you would die. They used their women's menstrual cycle as a clock. That's the reason why they hold on. There's a scientific reason why everybody acts the way that they are. White people always want to be on time, not because they're astute, because they know it is a genetic warfare. Black people are the dominant. Melanated people are the dominant gene on this earth. If they're not having sex at a quick enough rate, very soon they're going to be done. So they're in a rush for everything, and they're aggressive. Think about Europe. Over 70% of all of their resources has to be shipped in because that's a cold, nasty piece of rock. That's all that it is. So in saying that, like, when I look at our people, it's going to take something that pushes us into being together, because mentally we're already gone, but our spirits are alive. Trump, the greatest thing that he did was take away the fact that liberal white people said this is a post-racial America. Oh, you know that it's not now. Think about this, y'all. When is the last time you seen Black people this engaged in the political process the day after? The day after the election. You got folks on the street out there hustling. Man, you see what Trump doing? You know, you see how much money he up in the Trump. They are engaged. So think about this. Think about this. When are trillionaires and billionaires made? Doing chaos. That's the reason why they create chaos. So instead of us worrying and everybody tripping on Trump, it wasn't good for us when Obama was in office.
We was asleep though.
We was super asleep. And if Hillary Clinton the Clinton family put over 600,000 Black people in jail. Most of the Black people that are in jail right now are in jail because of the laws that Bill Clinton, with his saxophone playing self, passed. So I'm looking at them as the real threat. Donald Trump was always theory. So Black people are all upset and mad, but it ain't never been good in our hoods. For the person on the street, it got worse for them during Obama, statistically. So for me, at least we know what the truth is. I tell people all the time, I like white people in Mississippi more than I like any other white person on this earth. And they say, why? If a white person in Mississippi loves you, they'll kill for you. If they hate you, they will kill you. If you see a white person in your hood, they love you. White folks in Mississippi, if they don't like you, they're not coming to your side of town, and they will let you know they don't like you. And that's all I want. Black people have been rocked to sleep. And what Trump is for America, and I love it. All these white folks that was hollering Trump, they backstepping now.
Oh, they in influx right now.
Yeah, I love it. And look what it's doing. He has awakened our people with a stern kick in the ass. So we know the only person that's going to do it is the God box.
Now, I heard you once say you don't feel like America, you feel like America isn't meant for black people. Mm-hmm. I feel like right now we should take advantage of all the chaos that's happening. What do you think?
No, I agree. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Instead of us freaking out during the chaos, we should sit back and look at it.
But this is where we need leaders. This is where a lot of people became rich. Last time when the whole mortgage thing dropped and the interest rates went crazy, this is where we need leaders and say, to our community, hold your money right now. Because when this fucks up and this goes down, this is what you need to invest in to make sure after it, you and your families are good.
Let me give you an example of what you're saying. A wise man once told me, he said, there was once a great drought. Everybody in the city panicked, or in the town panicked. He said, but a very smart man sold water or made an air conditioner. So in saying that, me and my friend Edward Muhammad, we debate about leaders because I tell him I don't like leaders. And he said, why don't you like leaders? I said, if you look at every other specialized group of people, they live under a moral code. You ask, if you go to LA and ask most Mexicans what they are interested in as far as politics, what would they say? Immigration, right? You ask, gay, lesbian people, what are they interested
LGBT
in?
Rights.
Right. Exactly. But you ask 15 black people what we fighting for, we have 15 different answers.
Sure.
Yes, it would be great for us to have leaders, but every time we have a leader, what that does is, and that's the whole concept of the God box, which comes out May 19th, I can't forget, is that when we have a leader, this is the same reason why when I tell people, I don't believe, I tell people all the time, Jesus is not coming back to save you. Everybody's looking for Jesus to do their work for them, where I think the story of Jesus was to show you that you could be God on earth.
Damn right.
And that if your black ass fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, you might walk on water too. So when we get a leader, we give the responsibility to that leader and then we walk off and leave them. I tell them all the time, man, I've had 2 death threats since I decided to be outwardly conscious. 2 death threats. And my thing with white people now, I'm not even angry at white people anymore. I just want you to leave my people the fuck alone. Every time they tell black people we need to get on, every time we get on our stuff, they stick the feds on us or either paint it as something negative, like the Black Panthers. You never seen a white person hanging behind a tree at a Black Panther rally, but you didn't see millions of black people hanging, when white people get out of church. You feel what I'm saying? So for me, what I believe is this, is that we have to get to a point where we know that if anything happens to David Banner, then Charlamagne, you can pick it up, or Envy, you can pick it up, or you can pick it up, because we know what we want. We need laid out rules, and I don't care if we get out and get 2-3 dice and roll on it and pick the things that we want to do, whether it's the pipeline to prison, whether it's an African initiative in our elementary schools, whatever it may, reparations, I don't give a damn. We don't know what we want. Think about this. Even if white people is like, oh man, I just hit my head on a rock. Black people, we want to do right. What do you want? Most of us will say 40 acres and a mule, because that's all we've ever heard. Yes, it would be great to have leaders, but if you don't have a moral code that you live by, all they're going to do is do what they did. I think Malcolm and Martin hurt us more than they helped us, because what stopped when they died?
Everything.
Everything. Because people didn't believe in the codes and the ethics. They believed in the man or the woman.
What do you think about the whole concept of engaging and resisting? Like, right, that because you talk about Malcolm and Martin. Like, Martin was more of an engager. Malcolm was a resistor. Like, right now with this administration, if some people in our community who feel like they can engage with them and get them to do some things for us, whether it's funding, whatever. But then there's other people who are like, F that, don't go to that White House. We crucify black people when they go to meet them. What do you think?
Well, I think with Trump, I agree Whoa, I'm glad you said that. Jim Brown. I want to talk about that real quick. Man, black folks ate Jim Brown up. Jim Brown has done more for most black people than people that you see on TV every day, your lawyers and your politicians. And what happened with Jim Brown, because I called his people, because I know his right-hand man. I called him and I was like, dog, what's up? Because I was mad too. Mm-hmm. And he was like, David Banner, thank you. I said, why? He said, you're the only person that called before you criticized. Mm-hmm. He said what happened with Jim Brown helped Obama get elected. Mm-hmm. He had the American program, which he's had for a long time, that's actually helping kids in LA for real. It's proven. And Obama did nothing for black children. So he said, well, let me see what that white dude gonna do, because I got a plan. But what was happening was Trump never was bringing black people up there to really find out a way to help black people. What he was doing was showing you, I can make your people cross the line. Yeah. That's the same thing with the girl singing at the Michelle. Yeah, it wasn't the fact that she wanted money. Okay, cool, get your bread. But that's not the bad part. You made a unilateral move that affected black people, whether you want to take that responsibility or not. You made a unilateral move, and that's what Trump wanted. That's all he wanted. Let me show you black folks. Because think about how much black people had rallied against Trump. Mm-hmm. It was looking great. We was like, yeah, black people standing together one time in life. Similar to I wish, oh my gosh, it would have been one of the greatest things if the Clippers wouldn't have played that one game. Just that one fucking game. Imagine if black people stood up one time and didn't go shuck and jive and sing. I don't even think she knew what she was doing. It was bigger than her, and Trump knew that. So what he was doing was
Kanye.
That was the reason why he got all those people. Why you got to have a press release for black people? That's my whole problem with us anyway. Everything that we do, we want to have a town hall meeting and do it in front of everybody. You don't see the Ku Klux Klan on YouTube. You don't see the federal government when they're killing our children. You don't see them on Twitter talking about it. We're going to have to do some stuff behind closed doors.
So what if Trump would have gave Jim Brown funding for American?
I would think that was dope.
Absolutely.
I think even though I believe that resistance is the way, actually what I believe is we should just do our own thing. We got to stop depending. That's what the God box mean. Right. It's you. I personally don't believe there's a such thing as a devil. Why would God why would he, she, or it create something to rival itself?
I feel like it's a consciousness. I feel like it's a choice. I feel like you could choose to submit your will to the God in you, or you could choose to do devilish things.
Hold on. What's the operative word?
You. Yeah.
You are the fucking devil. It ain't no devil. But if you blame a outward source, you will never change who? Mm-hmm. You never change you.
You know that's why I named my book The Black Privilege?
Mm-hmm. Oh, he started again. Yeah, actually, David Banner, before you, I actually have a book also, David Banner.
And I was at Harvard
and I was at Harvard before you.
I learned from brothers like Banner. But that's exactly my whole mindset behind naming the book Black Privilege.
Now tell us about this album.
Okay, the God Box.
How long did it take you to make this album? Because I feel like
3 years.
It's been available for pre-order for.
Yeah, it has, and people are very mad at me. And I'm going to be honest with you. I need everybody to I'm so happy with the pre-orders now. We're gonna chart regardless. I didn't put certain songs out on purpose because I wanted to see. Does black people really do they really love me like they say they love me? Because you can say that you love me. Don't tell me you love me. We were just sitting on, that's what we were talking about in the lobby. Most of these people who are dying now, if black people loved them the way that they do when they die, a lot of them probably wouldn't be dead. Most of them are dead because their heart is broken. That's why everything that I do for the Most High. Because I know if black people don't know themselves, they will hate me for being a free black man. You escaped from the plantation? David Banner, how dare you be free? How dare you be happy? So the God Box is a culmination of that. I want to tell y'all something, and actually it'll be after you, but I'm thinking about writing this book that's called If Trees Could Talk. And it's going to be
tell me about your thing.
Actually, I had that same idea.
Actually, I got a book called If Forests Could Speak. If the forest could speak.
Right. And what it was is it's about the relationship with trees in Mississippi and Africans throughout history. And the taller the tree, the longer the story can go, but the less personal it is. The shorter the tree, the more personal it is, but it's probably only about one person. And the tallest tree is going to talk about the fact that Moors were on this soil even before the Native Americans were. But we don't know that. So the trees are talking to me. And then there's this shorter tree that told me about her relationship with black people during slavery. And it's in the song, the first song with me, CeeLo Green, and Raheem Devon, I talk about that.
Amazing record.
I say that she admitted that she was used in the lynching of blacks, but she broke her own arm so his neck wouldn't snap. So she was crying to me about how white people used her to hang black people, but this one black man, she couldn't do it anymore, so she let her branch snap so it wouldn't break his neck. So like, these are the type of songs that we're talking about. And then I got a song that most women are really, a lot of women are gravitating to. I made a trap song that's called Cleopatra Jones. And what I notice is there's so many corporate women that love trap music, but a lot of times they're conflicted because of some of the content in it. So I made a growing up song and we talking about sex, but in a really cool way. Like I told her I wanted to give her this dick, Gregory. Every verse that I spit, you know what I'm saying? Like, so in one of the songs I said, she say I'm like Malcolm, she Betty Shabazz, but I still want to smack on that ass, yeah. Hey, ratchet a bit, but don't take no shit from no copper, no thought. She don't fuck with no pits. Or I don't fuck with no bricks. She don't fuck with no cats or no dogs unless they lines of pits. So I mean saying that like, to make a song that a woman that's jamming, that's still sexual because we grown. A lot of times we don't want to make music. Like me, I had that problem once I started becoming outwardly conscious. I wanted to make all this positive. No, I'm grown.
Right.
Just because I'm conscious don't mean that I don't, I'm sorry, get distracted at times.
I got you.
So the God Box is just a culmination of all this stuff. Like if you could take the album that I made lyrically with Ninth Wonder, Death of a Pop Star, and take the beats from Mississippi the album, but update them. That's sort of what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of myself, and also it's an art exhibit. We just booked our first show doing Art Basel in Miami. Mm-hmm. Every cover has a artistic expression with it. Mm-hmm. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have art shows and then have silent listening parties. While the people are looking at all of the art and sell the art, headphones, the whole nine. So for me, there's an aspect. We're also selling a $250 God Box. What I did was I went and talked to Anthony Broder. He cut me and Anthony Broder was the guy that wrote From the Broder Files. This was the book that set me down the path to consciousness. I called him and he gave me his book for a good price. I bought 250 copies. I made, the black fist from my song Black Fist. Absolutely. I made that into a flag with red, black, and green. So like everything that people need. Oh, here it is right here. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We everything is like a consciousness starter kit. You got the music, you got the clothes, you got the books, you got everything that you need to sort of get you on that path. I sort of put everything in this box that sort of put me on that path. And we're gonna sell we're gonna sell 250 limited editions and copies of the God Box inside of the box, and then that's going to be something that we give to the very special fans. So I'm very proud of what I'm able to do, and I appreciate y'all for letting me come up and talk about it.
Always, my brother. Love talking
Thank
to
you, man. Thank you.
Now, hold on. Now, you going to leave that record with CeeLo? Because I got it, so we can either do this the easy way or the hard way. Now,
well, actually, you made the song before me. Yeah. Oh, damn, man, I did that song 4 years ago, bro. It's all good. Yeah.
The song need to be heard. The song is amazing.
But I'd already talked to him about it. You know what I'm saying? Because for me, one of the reasons why, and Angela, I'm surprised that I'm going to say this, but it was actually hard for me to release that album because it's my best work, and I started having anxiety. It was almost like sending your daughter off to college. Mm-hmm. Like you sending your daughter up there with a whole bunch of hard cocks and,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what you, in this cesspool, I know, because when I was in college, oh yeah, we couldn't wait till the freshman class came in. And that's sort of how I felt about the God Box. Like, this is one of the dopest hip-hop gems ever, probably during the moment when people need it the most, but maybe care the least. So like a lot of the times I pushed it back because I didn't want to send my daughter out there by herself, and I couldn't. Once you get it out there, once you push go, everybody has it. But the reason why I don't mind giving it to you if you ask is because I know you have a vested interest in my daughter because you have a vested interest in the way that I think. Mm-hmm. So I can give her to her uncle. You know what I'm saying? I can give it to her auntie. As long as I just gotta let her go. And I know I put the first of all, she fine because she come from me. You understand what I'm saying? But she's also gonna be able to defend herself and speak for herself because of what I stand for.
So what you gonna do, Uncle?
I mean, if you got a better mastered version, I'll take that. But
No, I got the master version. As a matter of fact, I got it right now. I'll send it to you.
My
right
brother,
now.
there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Envy will play it in the mix this
There you
morning.
go.
Now,
Absolutely.
hold on. Why you got the James Baldwin book? Because I love James Baldwin. Anytime we can shout him out, I'd love to. Why?
Right, next
Just
time.
reading that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what really happened. I got this for my birthday, but I remember the first time I came up here, I was reading a book too. So subliminally, I said what I'm gonna do every time I come up here.
Bring a book.
I'm gonna have a different book. And I sort of ruined it, but like
Yeah.
I said that this is what I was reading, but I purposely, because I remember I didn't try to do it the first time I came in here, and you was like, yo, what you reading? And then I showed it, and everybody went and picked that book up
Absolutely.
who watched it.
They do that a
So there you go again.
What's that? The Fire.
Next
Yep.
time.
Yep. The
And he
fire
got,
next
he
time.
got a great documentary out too, because we talked about the power of visuals. He got a great documentary called "I'm Not Your Negro."
Yeah.
That's real good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it. David Banner. The album comes out when?
May 19th on Malcolm X's birthday.
May 19th.
His daughter is going to be released to the world.
That's
yes,
right.
yes, she is. And
She's going to college.
Go and pre-order it right now. That's the thing that means the most to me. Because on the average, how many people tune in to y'all every morning?
A lot.
Yeah, like
About.
6 to 7 million, I think. Is it a week? Or something?
Watch this. I have this saying that if I had you, I wouldn't need them. Let's just say, not even my fans, not even hip hop, just the people who listen to you. Just like when United did what they did, instead of talking about it, people pulled back and their stock dropped. Well, I think it was 1.3%. That's what I'm talking about. We don't have to beg. If just those 6 million people right there went and pre-ordered the God Box right now, it would change the whole scope of music. And then what that would tell the kids is, oh, that's what you got to do to be hot. The same way we looked at the drug dealers. It wasn't the fact that they were selling drugs, like you said. It was the success. So if we stop talking about what we want and put our money behind the example of that, then there you go.
All right. Well, David Banner, the God Box, pre-order it right now. Go pre-order. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in.